We're back. Seven Rivers Racing on KQEG TV. I'm Dan Dyker. The Mid-American Short Trackers still laying down some rubber on the big track as we are filming as part of the 43rd Annual Oktoberfest Race Weekend. And I could not film a program out here if I didn't have my good pal from the ASA, Kevin Ramsell, on the program today. He joins me on the radio show each and every race year. One of the most insightful gentlemen that I've met in a long time. And he keeps me straight up here in the announcer's booth. How are you?
It's really impressive that I got to come and sit right outside your office here while you tape this segment of your radio show. I think that's pretty good. I feel privileged. Thanks.
You're the only one that I allow up here outside the office.
Yeah, that's about it, too.
Kevin's been a huge staple with the Oktoberfest Race Weekend for, I know, as long as I've been here, obviously longer than that. First off, for the viewers that are not really keen on what is the ASA, what is the ASA Midwest Tour, fill us in on those two programs.
Well, first of all, ASA is American Speed Association. It's a sanctioning body that sanctions around 30 tracks to 9 different racing series across the United States. I think we got about tracks in about 17, 18 different states around, and we just recently crowned our national champion this year. Was a gentleman by the name of Shelby Strobel, who is from Meridian Speedway in Meridian, Idaho. And the neat thing about Shelby is that he went this season undefeated. He won every feature event this year. And the cool thing is he started from the back, so it's cool to have him as our 5th national champion. But many people remember ASA back in the days where it was the old national series that ran from 1968 to 2004. And then Dennis Huth, who was a big executive at NASCAR, helped start the Camping World Truck Series back in the 90s, right. Bought the series in 2004, and we really focused on making a sanctioning body ever since. And we're always working on trying to get more tracks to be part of our ASA member track program. We got 2 tracks in Wisconsin, Marshfield Motor Speedway and State Park Speedway, and we're hoping to maybe get a track around somewhere around here soon, right. That you've kind of maybe familiar with them, maybe get them on board as well too, and some other tracks. But
and then you also have member tracks that are dirt tracks. So because
yes.
I have a lot of people tell me, well, no, ASA only deals with asphalt tracks. That's not true.
No, we got dirt tracks out in the West Coast, Southern Oregon Speedway, Medford, Oregon, Skagit Speedway, which is very popular. It has award-winning events out there every year. We got dirt and asphalt tracks. We even sanction a road racing series down in Arizona called ASA Pro Auto Sports, and they race once a month on at Firebird International Raceway, Indian Motorsports Park. We have an ASA. We have 3. We're actually one of the rare sanctioning bodies that have 3 different truck series. We have the ASA Midwest Truck Tour, which is competing here on Friday night at Oktoberfest. We have the ASA Truck Series in the Southwest. And then in Idaho and Utah, we have our ASA Pro Truck Series as well this year, which, by the way, their championship came down to 1 point this year.
Oh, I love when it was just like here at lacrosse. We had 2 of them come down to 2 and 5.
Awesome racing last night.
Now, the difference between ASA and the ASA Midwest Tour.
The ASA Midwest Tour is one of our sanctioned series that we sanction. Like we said, we have 9 different series that we sanction, and the ASA Midwest Tour is one of our series that we sanction. This is their 6th year of racing. I got involved with them in July 2007, their first year, and they've become one of the more looked at late model series across the United States. Right. There's a lot of people that look at the ASA Midwest Tour and say this is where the top drivers are. There's a good group of veteran drivers, a good group of rookie drivers that are looking to move themselves up, and there's very respectful racing out there. In fact, I've been talking to an 18-year-old, Taylor Minch, who won our ASA Truck Series championship, and he feels that he needs to come up here and race in the Midwest in order to get his eyes, to get the owner's eyes in the top levels of racing to see him, to know who he is, because he feels that this is where the competition is going to be, and this is where you're going to start seeing the young stars come through, like Matt Tifft, who won the Futures race last night, leading the Rookie of the Year standing. So it's really an awesome thing to see the growth of the ASA Midwest Tour in such a short 6 years period of time.
And then you have such the luxury of having the names of Sauter. I mean, and not just one. We're talking 2, 3, 4 Sauters. The likes of Ross Kenseth. And whenever other drivers hear Kenseth, wait a minute, I know that name.
Yep.
Sauter, I know that name. That's got to be an encouraging part of a driver wanting to become a part of the ASA or the ASAMT.
You can even put in the names of Windward, Haslai, Islands, the top 3 run for the championship. Brian Ruffner's ran with us a few times. And also the fact too that it's also got the attention of the drivers like Matt Kenseth, Kyle Busch, who would show up and just want to race because he knows it's tough competition.
Right, Milwaukee a couple of years ago.
Johnny Sauter, who's won. If you go back to June, look at how many cars they had show up at their Howie Lidle Memorial Race. 72 late models, and there was the drivers like Eric Amarola, David Reagan, Matt Kenseth, Russ, even, I mean,
David Stremming.
Well, the big thing is it got Rusty Wallace out of retirement.
Yeah.
I mean, they put Rusty Wallace back in a late model and say, I want to be there and do this race, and it's an ASA Midwest Tour race. I think that says a lot about the tour of itself.
Well, the ASA proud and strong here at the Oktoberfest race weekend, as well as the ASA Midwest Tour. And it all comes down to one huge race. And when I first started working here about 7 or 8 years ago, I didn't get the feeling of what the ASA 100-lap race was. I do now, as long as I've been here. This is the creme de la creme. This is the one that everybody wants to win.
It is a big race that everybody wants to win because it puts their name on a list of prestigious drivers. This is a 43rd annual event for it, and there's 42 winners of this event, and to put your name on that list, you're on the prestigious list. And in short track racing, when you look at Oktoberfest, many people look at this event as one of the big super late model events or big weekend events in short track racing, and to get your name on the winners list, that speaks volumes to anybody there. I remember a couple years ago when Travis Sauter won it, it was like a big weight off his shoulders when he did that.
Right. Kevin Ramsell is the Public Relations Director for the ASA and does a lot of traveling all over. He's a Stoughton boy. He was liking when the Stoughton boys were out here racing here this weekend. And another race that I want to throw in here, and I think this was a one-of-a-kind first ever, you guys took the show on the road, and when I say on the road, we're talking way on the road.
Yeah, like across the ocean back on January 31st, 2010. We did the first ever American-style stock car race in the Republic of South Africa. There was a 1.5 mile track that was built in 1999 in a city outside of a city called Velkom, South Africa, about 2 hours south of Johannesburg. And we did the first ever race. We shipped over 24 cars and started a 24-car field and had about 11,000 people in the stands and was broadcast worldwide to 72 different countries, 72 countries reaching 110 million households. And that was an experience to say the least.
And the layout of that racetrack was outstanding. I saw, courtesy of Kevin, a lot of pictures, a lot of video. Steve Carlson, king of the short track dealer at Crosse Speedway, ran up there.
He even told me yesterday if we go back, he wants to go with. And you know, Steve's not a big traveler.
Exactly.
That tells you something right there.
That was I was reading the blogs and everything all the way around, and man, what an experience that was. Kevin, we're gonna have to get you back on the program again here real soon.
Thanks.
We're gonna do it early next year, so you can help chart the entire ASA program for the entire 2013 schedule.
I'll be more than happy to. It'll be fun to do that.
All right, Kevin Ramsell, great friend of mine here at the Crosse Speedway. And real quickly, if they want to find out more on the ASA, where do they go?
ASA-racing.com. It's a website's got all of our tracks and series listings. We even have an app for the iPhone and Android phones for free. Just look up ASA Racing on iTunes or the Android market and download the app for free today. All righty, Kevin Ramsell. You'll see him all over Oktoberfest race weekend. Appreciate him coming on the program today. That's going to do it from the 43rd annual Oktoberfest race weekend right here at KQEG TV. You can watch the recaps of the races and a lot of highlights for the next couple of weeks as we close things out in October. For Kevin Ramsell, I'm Dan Dyker. Thanks for joining us on Seven Rivers Racing here on KQEG TV.